Okay, so at this point, it's getting fucking absurd. First, a couple months ago, I'm assaulted by a totally random person. Punched in the face, punched in the mouth, teeth broken, yada yada yada. It's all over my YouTube and my live journal and blah 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 blah. Well, today, I got a knife pulled on me by another crazy person. Yay! And it's also more fucked up because I might have done something wrong. I might have been a little too provoking of this person, and I'll tell you. And I feel bad about that. So this is the whole story. I bet this is gonna make some people hate me, and some people it's gonna polarize. But okay, so this is what happened. I've been going through the ringer, and I'm like, fuck. I need a day off. I need a day off. So I drive to Santa Monica. I get one of these bikes, and I'm just biking around to blow off some steam. Okay. I fall over on the bike, and immediately behind me, I hear laughter. I hear a guy laughing. So I turn around, and what it looks like the guy's making direct eye contact with me, laughing, and then he said something like along the lines of like, "You're not going to do anything about it" or something, right? So, you ever seen that Dave Chappelle sketch where keeping it real, when keeping it real goes wrong? You should look at that. I'll put that in the comments because that's kind of what happened with this. So I take about 30 seconds and I go, I should just walk away. I've had a very tough week. That's why I don't want to. I just walk away. You know, he might not even have been laughing at me. Maybe he was even on his phone and he just laughed at his phone and I thought he was laughing at me. I'm not even 100% sure. And this is the part that part of me regrets, but I've been through so much shit. I was in Santa Monica to chill out. I don't want to deal with this, so I say, okay, I'm gonna go over to this guy and just be very calm and just say, you know, in this very calm way, you can't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. I don't appreciate that. So I went over to him and I said that. And 2 seconds later, he had jumped up with a knife and was threatening to kill me with his knife, saying things like, "That fucked me up. What the fuck are you doing, you racist app motherfucker? Like, I wasn't laughing at you," and and with a knife pointing at me. And this is one of the closest times I've ever come to death. The other time was when I was about 10 years old and I was at these Shelburne Falls in Western Massachusetts, these waterfalls, and I was a little kid, and I decided to go down one of these waterfalls, or to go down this like slipping slop kind of thing at the top. And I did that, and I almost fell off the waterfall into rocks, and I would have been dead if it wasn't for my friend's father at the time. So there was that when I was 10, and this with the knife pointed at me. So embarrassingly to say, I was pleading. I was like, "Dude, I have money. Just take my money and go." And then he went over back to where he was sitting after maybe about 30 to 45 seconds, threatening me with a knife. And I called 911, and they came. And immediately, these cops were much less friendly than the cops at the incident where I was beat up. I could tell that they thought that maybe I was this racist guy just trying to provoke a random person. And I felt pretty bad. You know, that I should have just walked away. I should have just walked away. But so they come at me. The police come up to me, and they actually say, because they get, it's kind of a weird. They say, "Look, what do you want to do? You decide. If you want him to get arrested, we'll do that. If not, it's up to you. What do you want to do?" And ultimately, even though I don't like necessarily, I mean, I stood up for myself. I don't know. You get it, what I'm trying to say. But I was like, no, I'm not going to live with myself if he gets away after pulling a knife on me. It doesn't even matter. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Even if I did, like, purposely go up to him, or I was racist, and I was like, I'm going to fuck with this person, you still don't pull a knife. If you walk across a crosswalk when there's no light, as a driver of a car, you're still not allowed to hit this person. It's the same kind of thing with this. Although some person said I actually did a good thing to stand up to him, because there was one guy who was like, I saw him doing this before, so he was like, it's good you stood up to him. But anyway, yeah, the analogy with the crosswalk is exactly how this is. So, wow, I was literally just, he had a knife, and fuck, I could be dead right now. I could be dead. No YouTube video, I would just be dead. Wow. So this then really hurt, but before the cops came, about 6 different people went up to this guy and vouched for him. I could hear him. They were going, me, they saw, they were like, me, I was just trying to start some shit. And they were going to that guy, he was right, that I was just trying to start some shit. And about 6 different people said that to him. Nobody said anything to me. Now, that's because after I heard the laugh, I took about 30 seconds to decide if I'm going to go over there or not. So it wasn't just like he laughed at me and I went up to him and said, don't do that. I took some time. So that's probably why it looked like I was going to start some shit, because I took some time to kind of think about how I want to deal with the situation. So 6 different people go up to him after he had just brandished a knife on me, saying, he's in the right. He's in the right. The police came and they were like somewhat antagonistic towards me because they thought maybe I was being racist. Although I think the police are all very afraid now about another George Floyd situation. So I think they're almost trying to say that I'm like George Floyd, so they don't, or I'm like the guy who attacked George Floyd, so that they don't feel as guilty about it, possibly. But obviously I couldn't know that for a fact. But in the end, yeah, it's just, it felt so shitty. So all these people said he was in the right. One witness actually said to the police he did not get a knife out. And that's what's unfortunate, because the reason why is that he was turned towards me, towards the ocean with the knife. All the witnesses were behind him, so they only saw his body. It looked like to them that he was just trying to beat me up. And it's like, honestly, if I do something, if I go up to him and say, don't laugh at me, and he didn't laugh at me, then what you do is you say, fuck you to me, or you maybe try to start a fist fight with me. A knife is just, it's clearly ridiculous. You know, the crosswalk scenario is exactly like how it is. So a lot more police came, and then they questioned me, and they were very like, they thought I was lying about the knife. They asked me, you know, what kind of a knife it was, and I'm not a knife expert. I have no idea what kind of a knife it was. It was about, maybe one of you out there knows, it was about this big. The blade was like that big. It looked like a switchblade, but it looked like a hunter's knife, like a kind of knife that it retracts, but people use when they go hunting to like cut the meat up or something. That's what it looked like. And I wish I had said that to the police, but I didn't. I was just too flustered, and they thought that's because I was lying about him taking the knife out. And they were like, which pocket of his did he pull? Did it come from his pockets? Which pocket did he pull the knife from? And how would you know that? It was pretty fucking terrifying. I'm not going to notice these details with pocket. And it's also disturbing that they think I'm lying. They think I just randomly wanted to start some shit with someone, and then I'm lying about the knife because I'm racist and I'm trying to get him arrested. But very fucked up. Yeah, so these police talked to me. They were very like antagonistic, very like they think I'm just trying to start shit. But then you know, ultimately, you pull a knife on me, you're going to jail. I mean, unless I pull a knife on you first, obviously, or you know, attack you like physically. So, but yeah, there was honestly even some time when they were talking to him, I was hearing his issues and what he was saying to the police, and he had gone through some very, very tough shit, the things that he was saying. And I've gone through some tough shit too, so I actually like empathized a little bit with him, you know, even though he just got a knife on me, because he's been going through fucking hell. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I want to just let him go. Like, part of me is like, I might have fucked up. I want to let him go. He's going through so much shit right now because of the coronavirus, and I am too. And on top of it, though, he's homeless, so every night he's out on the street and with it. And I was just like, fuck. I don't want any more drama in the world. I don't want any more drama. I don't want any more whatever. I don't want to be the cause of this negativity when there's so much already around in the first place. But this might be like the third or fourth time I've said this. I think I'm rambling a little bit. But yeah, at the core of it, doesn't even matter what I did beforehand. Unless I pull a knife or start beating him up, he can't pull a knife on me and just get away. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And then they took the final statements and they went. And they had to wait for back to arrest him because I think he did try to fight the police. And also they knew that he probably had a knife. So I say probably because I don't think they thought that if they had not believed me, then they'd be thinking maybe he doesn't have a knife. So yeah. Now then, after this happened, I was feeling really bad because of all the people who were saying he was right and I wasn't. So I kind of went up and down the boardwalk and I asked some random people. I told them the situation. I said, how do you think, look, if you think he's right, I want you to tell me. I want you to be honest with me. And everyone I talked to was like, no, when the knife comes out, you're totally right. Like everyone said this. That I dealt with it well. And actually one really nice guy who was also the guy who got arrested doing this to me was black, and this other black guy who was like the nicest guy ever, and he was just he said this. He said I think God created this situation so he could get arrested, because if he didn't, he would have killed somebody like in the next few days or something. So this is what this amazing guy said to me. It's like so nice. And maybe that is true. Maybe it was like God, set this up or whatever so that he can get arrested. But I don't know, I didn't grow up in Los Angeles, and I can definitely see some people who grew up here and have had a tough life being like, yeah, I would have fucking pulled a knife out on you too if you're not laughing at if you're accusing something I'm not doing, and especially during coronavirus. So this is a weird one. I'm sure a lot of you who maybe empathize with me about the assault might be like, they don't like this one, and I can see that. I did feel like kind of just this gross feeling in my stomach, like I've that that I set up this situation, and I was like, did I do that? And I feel so much guilt, I guess. I'm not saying I did, but everyone's going through tough shit right now, but yeah, it's like the crosswalk. If someone crosses not when the light's on and you still cannot hit them with your car. So that's what it comes down to. And maybe he was just laughing at me. One guy I talked to afterwards who lived right there, he was saying he saw this guy laughing at other people, and he said it's good you stood up to him because he was laughing at other people, and it wasn't just like at his phone on YouTube. He'd been doing that for a while, and I was the first person to stand up to him, and he was like, that's great. And he even let me have his contact information, if I need him for a witness, which is fantastic, because I think there's like 6 witnesses who say they didn't, it was just me and he didn't have a knife. And this is a guy who's like, I saw him doing this to other people. I don't know if he said he saw him with a knife. I don't know. That could be wrong. But this one guy was on my side. But yeah. And then about an hour and a half later, when I was in my car, I got a call from Santa Monica police, and they said, and I think they are on my side now because of what this guy said. He said, when he came at you with the knife, did you fear for your life? Did you think your life was in danger? And I said, yes. And he was like, great, I just needed to hear you say that. That's all I need to know. So that is somewhat hopeful. That reminds me of when I was in Inside Llewyn Davis and I got the part, and the casting director called me afterwards and she said, we can't say anything for certain, but Joel Cohen told us to tell you not to cut your hair. It's kind of a similar thing. Like it means that you're, that in that situation I got the part, and in this situation that the police are on my side. But I'm scared. I told my therapist this. I feel like almost I'm in the fucking Truman Show, where it's like my everything is a TV thing, because it's like every day some new thing happens. It gets worse and worse and worse. I'm literally afraid I'm gonna go out tomorrow, and it was like first I got beat up, then someone pulled a knife. Well, what's the next thing? I'm gonna go out and someone's gonna pull a gun on me. So I'm fucking scared of that, because this pattern, and that's why I've called the suicide hotline, because I was like, I don't want the day, every day gets worse and worse and worse. Part of me just wants to end it so that the days can't get worse. Part of me is 100% convinced that tomorrow someone's going to pull a gun on me. Like, that was funny. I don't know. It's fucked. It's definitely not as clear cut as the other situation where I would feel 100% in the right. I, God, you know, part of me was like, even though he did pull a knife, he's going through shit. I'm going through shit. Don't add to the shit. Don't add to it. There's already way too much out there in the universe. Don't do any, like, you know, if there's even a chance that he was on YouTube and not laughing at me, it's like I feel really repulsed by my actions here. But, pull a knife, go to jail. So that's that. That's that.